Ladies and gents, welcome back to the channel. Today we've got a tactic called the 4-2-4 Carrega Benfica. Now, the page I got this from, and it is from a guy called Bruno Miguel. There's not a whole lot of information. It is basically another sub-top type of tactic. Underdog only 2 stars, 47 win percentage, 35.5 loss percentage, draws at 17.5. I've been trying to create a solid 4-2-4 and I finally created it. Even though I didn't play with it the entire season, the results I've had are very good, so I feel confident to share it here. It looks like I don't know if he created a team, CA155165, I can't read that. But I don't know if he created that team or it's some really low-level team, but it looks like he's playing in a Super League type of database. But he got to third, just below Real Madrid and Manchester City. But we're going to take a look at it today. Carrega meaning to carry and also to charge up. It seems to be kind of one of their chants for Benfica. I don't know if this has anything to do with an actual Benfica team, if there was a time where they were using a 4-2-4, if they are now, but there's really not that information in the description of the tactic. But there you go, that's why Carrega. But let's get into the tactic. As you can see, it is a 4-2-4. It is a sweeper keeper in defend, inverted wingbacks on both sides in attack, central defenders in defend both sides, DM in support, a segundo volante in support, inside or inverted wingers on both sides in support, and then 2 advanced forwards up front. One is moving to channels, one is tackle harder and moving to channels. So positive mentality, in possession, attacking with his fairly narrow approach play, focus play down the left and the right, play out of defense, passing directness is shorter, tempo is higher, low crosses and run at defense. In transition, a counter press, counter and distribute quickly and roll it out. And out of possession, a high press line of engagement, a standard defensive line, trigger press much more often and prevent short goalkeeper distribution. Now, how did it do for our 3 teams? Not too bad, I guess. Newcastle and Tottenham kind of on the average side. Newcastle, 63, not bad. Wolves, though, 77 points. Did a pretty good job with them, I have to admit. 22, 11, and 5. Only a 27 goal differential. 74, 43 against. Still, 77 points is not bad for Wolves. Definitely well above average. So since Wolves are on top, we're going to start with Wolves in their schedule. Not the greatest of August, but look at this run. No other losses all the way through the end of the first half. EFL Cup 4th round, you're out immediately against Liverpool at home, 1-3. A nice another run out against Manchester United in the FA Cup 4th round, 2-3. A nice, amazing run. And then it's pretty spotty from that point on. I mean, you do have 3 draws, but 2 losses. Not great compared to the rest of the season. Tottenham is pretty spotty all around. A fairly nice August minus a loss against Manchester City. But spotty. A fantastic November. Out in the EFL Cup 4th round. 1-1 in penalties against Manchester City. 2-4 loss to Manchester United. 3-4 loss. FA Cup 4th round replay against Newcastle. So you're out there. You're in the Europa Leagues. You're still going there until it looks like, nope, all the way through until Atletico Madrid 3-5 loss and a 2-2 at home draw. And that sees you out of the Europa League in the semifinals. Newcastle, 2 immediate losses. Only 0-2 though, Liverpool. Not too bad from what we've seen before. But then a fantastic set of points all the way through Manchester City. 2-3 loss there. 2-5 loss against Manchester United at the tail end of the first half of the season. But you're continuing on your very strong opener in the second half of the season. You do draw, you win against Arsenal. EFL Cup final 2-1 in extras against Manchester City. Newcastle gets a cup trophy, so very nicely done there. FA Cup, you do lose to West Ham 2-2 in penalties in the FA Cup final, but you do get to 2 finals, and that's pretty amazing. So obviously they clearly just had the cup finals as much more important than the Premier League. But I mean, 63 points, definitely on average thereabouts for Newcastle. You know, if you didn't do anything, that's kind of where they would end up generally, at least from what I've seen. But 2 cup finals is fantastic. So Wolves did gain some money, 975 for Lembikisa, we've seen all the time, but 6 million for Hwang Hee-chan, we've seen every now and again. Did not bring a single soul in though. But that basically tells me that you've spent no money. The tactics have really worked for who you have. 77 points is a fantastic tally for Wolves. You're not getting up in the Premier League title conversation really. You're not in the 80s or 90s in the point tally, but still, you're spending 0 in the January transfer window, and you're up there. That's pretty nice. Tottenham not really getting any money whatsoever in the January transfer window, but they are spending some money. Benjamin Dominguez on the last day, I guess, from September. But Livaja from Hodrick split 13.5, and then Leonidas Stergio from St. Gallen 8.75. Nobody really getting rid of a lot of players. Mark Gillespie for 475K is the only transfer out, but they did bring in Alex Scott from Bristol City for 7.5 and Borna Sosa from Stuttgart on the last day of the transfer window, as well as Facundo Farias, who is with Inter Milan right now. Funny enough. So what does that mean for our squads? You've got Jose Sa for Wolves, 43 appearances in total, 39 plus 3 for Pedro Neto, and Cunha with 38 plus 2. Goals-wise, 20 for Kalajic. Not a bad tally, but still not the greatest. Jimenez, 13. Cunha with 13. So they're not getting a lot of goal scorers. Apparently, they're just pushing it out to a lot of different people. Assist-wise, 15 for Neto. Sarabia with 12. Neves with 7. Overall, they've got some players with some numbers, but very few of them. I'm surprised they're at 77 points. 7.20 for Kalajic, average rating. 7.18 for Sa, and Ait Nori with 0.5. They're 7.05. So overall, it seems average from the stats. Tottenham's appearance total, Hugo Lloris up there with 51, 50 plus 2 for Kane, and Porro with 48 plus 2. Goals-wise, 39 for Kane, and Barbosa with 31. Barbosa looks to be an absolute beast if given the appropriate tactic. But 13, nope. Son with 11. And assist-wise, 19 for Porro, Son with 17, as does Kulusevski. Average rating 7.4 for Son, 7.34 for Kane. Barbosa was 7.27. So these are the type of numbers that I would expect for a higher end table type of finish. But Wolves somehow handily beating in points both Tottenham and Newcastle, and it's weird how stats work and how sometimes they don't. Newcastle, Nick Pope with 51 appearances, Trippier with 48, and Callum Wilson with 46 plus 3. Goals, 31 for Isaac, Wilson with 23, and Almiron with 14. So this seems to be a fairly average season for them on stats-wise. 20 for St. Maximin in the assists, 17 for Trippier, Guimaraes with 9. Average rating 7.46 for Isaac. That is just fantastic. The dude is crazy insane if you can get a good tactic that actually utilizes him perfectly. St. Maximin was 7.22, 7.20 for Dubravka. Overall, again, it's definitely average on a lot of these numbers. 31 goals for Isaac is a little bit above average, but they just didn't do well on the table. I guess there were just some games that they didn't do well and some that they did. I don't know. And even when you look at the data hub, Wolves, not really showing some strong numbers. Shots per game is the only one that's really nice. Everything else, is above Premier League average, so you got to hand it to them. But overall, it's still kind of on the weak side. Extremely shaky defensively, and then very good in attack. But Newcastle, there you go. Tottenham not really showing much different. Strong numbers, much stronger than Wolves. But why are Wolves so high in the table? And these guys just did not get there. So this is a possession-based tactic, it seems, and the attacking side, I've always said the attacking side is where you need to be when it's FM23. Defense, sure, you need a good defense. Don't have an absolutely crappy defense, a horrible defense that's going to leak goals left and right. But if you've got a much stronger attacking side, you're going to do well. Most goals, Tottenham, Newcastle, and Wolves are all up there with 70 to 87. Fantastic. After 70 and 69 goes all the way down into the 50s. Fewest shots against Newcastle and Tottenham, so you are keeping it away from the goal, which is nice. Most possession, though, all three teams are up there, 56 down to 52. Dribbles made, nobody. Fewest conceded, the goalkeeper's doing some work. But most tackles won, nobody. Best pass completion, nobody. Most shots for Newcastle, 770, down to Wolves, 708. And then most points per game, pretty much as you would expect. Player stats, most goals, Salah and Haaland, 26 and 25, but Kane with 24. So doing very well there. Barbosa, Kalajic, and Isaac all up in the mix too. 16, though, is not the highest. Is definitely nowhere near the highest that Isaac has seen. But most assists, Kulusevski, St. Maximin, Son, and Sarabia, and Trippier all up there. 14 is not too bad, but again, we're seeing a lot of averages for what all the tactic talks that we do over the course of this season. But Alexander Isaac with most player of the match awards was 6, again, on the average side. Best pass completion, Lloris and Romero are up there. Most dribbles made, nobody. You got some goalkeeper work, most tackles won. Trippier's in there with 96, so there's one person doing some defensive work. Most key passes, though, Trippier and Sarabia, as you'd expect. And most shots, Cunha and Isaac are up there. Haaland with 188. So overall, I won't say that this tactic was absolutely a beast tactic. Wolves definitely did well, especially for not having brought anybody in during the January transfer window. But 77 points is a fantastic tally. Tottenham and Newcastle definitely on the average side. But that is it for the 4-2-4 Carrega Benfica. Again, I don't know why it was a Benfica tactic. I don't know much about Benfica. But 4-2-4, it seemed to do very well for Wolves. Tottenham and Newcastle, not so much. But that is it for me, Seffian FM, for the Football Manager blog channel, saying thank you as always for watching. Take care and enjoy.